After taking a huge step in 2025, why not another step in 2026 as Rutgers enters the 7th year of the Caitlin Schweihofer era? A 7-match win streak last year, setting program rally era records in hitting percentage and service aces. It all added up to a massive increase in win total, 6 more than 2024. That's the largest year-to-year win increase in Rutgers program history since 2012. And Coach Schweihofer is with us now. Congratulations on all the success from a year ago. Obviously, good timing for it to happen. It's always good timing when you have a good season. What do you say that happened because of? What worked with your program in 2025?
We looked back at the statistical variation between our opponents and our program in 2024, and one of the biggest things that we noticed was our hitting efficiency was significantly lower. And so that was an area the spring prior to that we put a lot of emphasis on, was just increasing not only our hitting efficiency but also our kill percentage, and that showed in what ended up happening throughout the season. Additionally, in the serving category, we recognized that we need to have really quality service, and so again put a lot of effort into making sure we didn't have 6 of the exact same servers. We wanted to make sure we had someone who was able to really be a green light server, as we call it, a couple people who are more lethal in zones and different things like that. So that turns into points. And this year we want to continue on that, obviously build upon that, but recognize where the deficit was, and that was on the defense and block side of things. So that's where our spring training had really gone into, and obviously leading into preseason.
So when you as a staff get together and you address the areas where there are what you would say are needs, you not only go and perhaps get players who can fill those voids, but you also teach and you change the things that have to be changed in the way that they need to be changed for you to be successful. How do you do that in terms of the practice element of it and in terms of getting that installed with your players?
Yeah, in this new world of college athletics, I think a lot goes into recruiting, right? A lot of time goes into recruiting, but at the same time, we're coaches because we are coaches. Yeah. And we need to put attention into the players that we have. And I'm very big on making sure that the players that we are recruiting are improving throughout their 4 years and that they're retained because they feel like they are improving. And so that's been a huge emphasis. My staff is really well versed in the training element. So I feel that I have a staff in line that is excellent in not only their positions that maybe they played when they were, a collegiate athlete, but also throughout their experience as a collegiate coach, we're able to learn development in different areas of the game that maybe I'm at a deficit for. So we need to be well-rounded, but if you look at our program as a whole, we have been able to retain players as well as improve players throughout their 4 years.
And obviously give confidence as well last year. And confidence can be such a huge asset, especially playing in this league, in this sport. You rip off 7 in a row last year, the longest win streak in a long time for the program. From the coach's perspective, what were you seeing when that was happening with your players, whether it was physically on the court or whether it was mentally, and you could kind of see what was growing inside of them?
Yeah. A lot of people use the word confidence, right? And I think to my team it's a little bit of a trigger word because we've got to be more well, what does confidence mean? What does that actually mean? And I look at it as confidence comes out of the feeling of safety and the feeling of security on the court with your teammates, trust, loyalty. And so I think that really grew throughout our, not only 2 springs ago, but we had the opportunity to go on a foreign trip. We were able to develop relationships during that time, and that led into last season. And then we spent a lot of time off the court making sure that our players not only are treated as athletes on the court, but they're treated as people off the court, and that's a really important element of my program.
Obviously, the work that you did in hitting efficiency worked, and the work that you did on the service line really helped because you were one of the top teams, not just in the Big Ten, you were one of the top 25 teams nationally in terms of service last year. When you see that as a coach, and it had been an area of emphasis, and you see it get to the point that it got last year, how gratifying is that?
Well, completely. I learned a lesson. I learned that if you do the same thing every day, you get better at it. And so we got to a point where we were doing a lot of the same service drills day after day after day and seeing improvement using statistical data that we hadn't used before and actually using technology that we had in practice to make sure that we were putting our best 6 servers out on the court. Maybe not always ones that you would do the eye test, but we kind of moneyballed our service points. So we wanted to make sure Lexi Byzantine had broke the ace record for us. And that was a serve she didn't even come into playing at Rutgers with. So we took a lot of time individually to make sure she was capable and felt like she had the ability to be able to miss, going back into service line and feeling secure that it's okay to miss gives you a lot more security to go after it in those pressure moments.
So how do you continue to do that again this year? That's probably the bigger and more important question.
Yeah, obviously she graduated, but I was actually talking with my players today. I think that all 18 of our players right now, I'd feel confident putting at the service line. It's from day one of preseason. Obviously, we're only 3 days in. We make service practice a very big element of our practice every single day, and we allow the girls to play with different types of serves, not just what they did in club or maybe even as a freshman or sophomore or even at their previous institution, but come in and how can they be efficient now in the Big Ten from the service line. And it's exciting to figure that all out and piece that all together.
You have 11 letter winners back. 3 of them were starters a year ago. So obviously you have a ton of returnees from that team that was able to take that step last year. Is last year just last year? Now, do you look at this roster and say what we did last year was great, but it's nothing compared to what we think we can do in 2026?
Of course, when you're building a program, stepping stones are very important, and you don't want to forget where you came from because those elements are key to the next step in where you want to take the program. But I believe, I don't know this all, for certain, but I think we have one of the highest retentions out of any team in the P4, and that's important. And so now that we have players on the team who are experienced in playing in the Big Ten, have had maybe a tough season and then felt what it felt like to win a few more games, have that thirst to continue on. The girls that we brought in will be impactful, both as freshmen and as transfers, but they're going to really come into a program that the culture is incredibly strong, and I don't need them to come in and change it. I need them to come in and help us continue to grow it.
What about the players that you brought with you in Aspen and Lily and how they reflect your program, and also to those newcomers, make sure that they're aware of what your program is all about, the culture, the identity, what's expected on a daily basis in practice?
We don't have team rules per se, we have team standards, and it kind of goes hand in hand, but those standards are things that we set as a group, not that I set as rules. And so there's buy-in. There's buy-in both from the staff and the support staff, but from the players. And so that is communicated in the recruiting process. I communicate with players as they're being recruited, as well as day one or practice one or even open gym when I'm not there. I make sure that they are executed to the highest level. And Aspen and Lily do a wonderful job of making sure those standards are always met. And so I felt like they deserved the opportunity to come and represent our program, and they've been big change agents for us over the past season and moving forward.
Yeah, how true is it that every really successful teams that are going to compete in this league, perhaps compete for an NCAA tournament, are not just talented, but have that connectedness that is typically led by a couple of players who are not just among the best players, but certainly the best leaders, and even more than that, the best communicators in your program?
Absolutely. Our big team motto, I guess you could say, is like you have to be able to communicate at the highest level, and people always say they want a family as a team. Well, families fight and families have disagreements, and how do you work through that? Families truly have the ability to communicate with one another and work through those problems and work through those issues, and not just sweep things under the rug. Well, I would say the most efficient families.
Not all families.
Not all families,
That's why they make sitcoms.
Yeah, a lot of families, and so the ones that feel like they're really thriving, and I feel it's the same as a team. We spend a lot of time together, and if we can't work through issues and we just pretend like everything's okay all the time, then when it gets down to those really tough moments and those pressure situations, we're not going to be able to work through them and communicate the way that it needs to be.
Obviously, everybody faces a really tough schedule in this league, and this year, for the first time, you faced everybody once, and everybody has the same schedule. Obviously, some home via ways are different against opponents that did or didn't finish ranked or in the NCAA tournament last year. But for everybody, because of that schedule, the non-conference becomes so important in terms of not just momentum, but the RPI building aspect of that. How does that affect the way that you want your preseason or non-conference to be set up in terms of scheduling and what your team needs to do during those matches?
Yeah. Well, as long as the 500 rule is still in place, that's the most important thing, right? So we want to schedule opponents that we feel advance our progress throughout the season and prepare us for Big Ten play, but that we also are able to successfully defeat and keep our record above 500 at the end of the season, so we have the opportunity to make the NCAA tournament. The SEC Challenge will be a big test for us. We're on the road for it. We're all coming off of a week-long road trip because we start at Bellarmine before that, and we're staying out in, from Louisville straight to Nashville. And so playing those games at the end of that trip will be a really good test, and I think will be a great opportunity for us to see where we will end up at the end of the season.
Well, Caitlin, let's finish here because everybody's season, at least in the Big Ten, ends in the same place this year down in Fishers, Indiana at the Big Ten tournament. There are some coaches who have been a little bit, I guess, more hesitant, want to use a wait-and-see philosophy. Others have been fully in, that they've been pushing for this for a decade. Your thoughts on everybody going down there? Some teams starting later than others, but once the games go on, regardless of your seed, it is a single elimination winner-go-home event.
I was a huge proponent of a Big Ten tournament, coming from conferences that, well, number one, I played in a conference that had one and coached in a conference that had one, 2 conferences that had one. I think it's really important as you're developing a program to have an opportunity to fight for something other than just the NCAA tournament, but to fight to get to the highest level you can within your own conference and to still be competing for postseason play come October, right? If that's not the case, then you're playing to play. And so I love the fact that we added. I was a huge advocate for the 15-team tournament, and it should be probably tattooed on my assistant Randy's forehead at this point. I think she says Fishers, Indiana every single day as a motivating factor to this team this year. So. That's
right. You want to be one of those 15 on their way down there to play the week of Thanksgiving. Caitlin Schweihofer, as always, we appreciate the time. Hope you guys do build on that 2025 with an even better 2026.
Oh, you can bet on it. Thank you.